It's good to be here. You can see some familiar faces. The members of the executive team and the support team of SEEP, the farmers and reps, I believe there are a number of local entities as well. Looking at this, thank you for being here. We also have got reps local office as well as local staff, and also I believe environment somehow is within this framework of the program. So ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure to be here this morning. And I think for me, honestly, I wasn't aware of the program until we started doing the documents in terms to see how best we could assist this program. But once again, if I look through the projects and we went through my team and we just saw that it again very much blends to the core activities of the chief agriculture. If you look at our strategic development plan for 5 years and 8 years, we are in a review of our development plan that we are coming to meet of our strategic plan. And it very well goes through the priorities. So we have got, if you look at our 5 priorities, we think that it very well blends into 1, 3, and 4. So one of the ones that it again cuts across as well as fits very well is our efforts in trying to see how best we could go into sustainable land use practices, and again, how we could reduce the chemical and pesticide loads in the system. The buzzword always has been organics, and guys, if you look at organic, there's a lot of definitions about organic. And within that is also the essence of sustainability. It's about sustainability as well as, if you look through the definition of organic, again, there's a lot of components to organic. Sometimes people say it's not about pesticides. Then you classify pesticides. Then you look at, within those practices of organic, you look at, organic is not only about pesticide loading. It's about sustainable use of land as well. Within that sustainability concept is where we should respect the ecosystem. There are insects there that should be living as well along with the system. So at times when you go and dig a hole and you see airborne, it plays a vital role in the ecosystem. In the morning, example, a lot of us are now complaining in towns and cities that we got ants. At times we go and build a house and we say, hey, a lot of centipedes coming, millipedes coming. But you're not realizing why they are doing that. If you look at a number of times you go and plant vegetables around, and you say, hey, I have to have these reflectors because birds are taking the fruits or damaging my flowers, whatever. The reason is, we as human beings, we have invaded their space, built our houses, went to the bush, we want to get the breadfruit, we can't get the breadfruit, we can't climb it, we cut the tree down. Why we do it? I come from a farming background in Tabua. Before, my parents would never let me, when you know the chili, the small ones, we go and the chili, because the birds eat it, they'll defecate elsewhere, and it will then grow up. It's a natural mechanism. I mean, it's kind of what the nature is doing. Even some of the seeds would be washed away near the river system. My parents would never allow me to break the branches. It's a tedious task. You pick everything, and I'll see my mom sitting on the thing, and they'll carry, if they have this thing, so they'll put all the chilies there, they'll break it, slowly pick it up. But now we see people come, cut the tree, take it on the branch. Purpose too. You see a lot of this purpose along the river banks. We have so many purposes. No. A lot of us use it for curry as well. So people, they don't want to have that, stick or something. Let's cut the tree down. So that is a challenge for us. A lot of times when we look at organics, when we look at the components of integrated system, we normally believe that we are on the human chain. When we look at the whole food chain, we say we are the superior. But I think they are processes, they are within those, they are biological systems, they are organisms that also are top of the table as well, but we have invaded the species, the space. So ladies and gentlemen, SEEP project I've seen, it is touching and it is looking into efforts of sustainability, it's managing catchments. I know they are working in the interiors, especially Ra and wood. I think this is the edge of the government that we have to grow together. And a lot of these communities that are out there, we don't want them to be left out. And I like the name of this project itself, education. Guys, anyone sitting here, you put a mobile phone. People can just snatch your mobile phone, take it away. But education is something that is here. And
Anyone sitting here says that knows everything, he may be a fool, fooling himself. Every day, each day, you are learning. Consciously and subconsciously as well. If you are sitting in this group, you are seeing somebody sitting or watching or doing, you are also learning from him as well, without knowing that this is the way. So you come to a community. At times you come to a community, you just look at their norms, how they behave when they come in. Like for me, I grew up near Itoke village, but it was a norm for us not to wear hats, where to approach the house and things. But for new persons, it will be difficult for them. So they learn in the process as well. Sometimes they say, there's no learning, I have got a PhD, I got master's, everything, I don't know. Learning is everything, and education is powerful. It's the only tool that could take you anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, so when we say education, within education is a very powerful word is empowerment. You can be educated, but you have to create an environment where you could use that education, where you can disperse this knowledge. People can have masters and other things, but you go away and start preaching on the street, hey, this is how climate change is. No, you can't. So there should be an enabling environment where you need to pass that knowledge. And these kind of projects, they are structured, they know how to approach. I know what Kini was telling me, like Itoke Affairs was there in terms of looking at how we could infiltrate the traditional systems that are there. Infiltration means approaching, tackling issues in a way, the village has got its norms as well. And that is a fundamental part of learning process as well, where we want to create an enabling environment. Yeah, within an enabling environment is again fairness and equality. Decision making, no matter the gentlemen sitting here, they will always say, hey, we give equality to women, we give equality to the youth. But if you go to number of women, anyways, you see the percentage women making decisions on the bonus in terms of putting their ideas is difficult or limited. So again, programs like this create an enabling environment. I've seen the project, I have to break to the project, I just believe that the project has a component of women empowerment, there's a component where they're looking at youth as well, and creating an environment. Because traditionally, the way we have those values, and it is good to have those values, guys. I'm not saying that traditional values are not, they should be embedded with respect. It comes within. But again, within that we have to create so that create an environment so that this thing can have a synergy and information can flow. Having pocket meetings with vulnerable groups, women groups, the gentlemen are happy that do this thing, women can get together and have their own decision making and get their desires and put it across. The village mechanism, electronic cores, or the spokesperson, get it across. So that's what we are saying. We are not going on ahead, and that's what agriculture is all about as well. We use participatory approach. We also use where we see vulnerable groups are there. Maybe there may be sometimes by dominant groups. Dominant groups mean some people have got their own ideologies, own beliefs of how things could be done. So going back to this project, we totally support this project. We are happy to be part of it. We have seen that, as I said, any institution, they have got their own priority areas. And it's good that this project is touching on the one. And touching on something that we call it, a lot of people don't want to touch it. Now, the reason we are going on commercial, no matter what person says, is when you look at commercial, you look at money, efficiency, effectiveness. And organic, to some extent, if you see, just an example, don't go to me, I'm just saying example, is you want to weed this piece of land, or you got something, trees are up there, and you need to control the weeds. So probably you ask some farmer, he knows he runs the land use section, he had that section. You know, the best way to do it, get a glass of white, put it on a tank, spray them on that, 15-20 minutes done. That's it. If you look at sustainable way of doing things, maybe you integrate it with some sheep, let them do it, and the bigger weeds, they do wherever, you cut it down. That's how we do it. But if you look at the time taken, maybe this would take a little bit of energy, in terms of the efforts. You would see some places where the sheep has eaten, some places it might not be that, it might not look nice. Versus if you spray, everything is going, you're happy, you think that you've done the job. So, again, having said that at times it is a challenge, when we say that we want to reduce fertilizer, like you must have seen National Agriculture no longer has agro input as a subsidy in our programs. That is the drive of the current minister, that we are not going on chemicals, pesticides and fertilizers. What we are doing, the government investment, more is the ministry's money is more going into hardcore infrastructures. We're doing roads, we're doing infill drains, we're doing land preps. We're not going back into the farm machinery, harvesters, mechanization, we're going into that one. No longer we give subsidy $20 a bag for fertilizer, glass sulfate, all these things. We are aware that it has got detrimental impact on the environment. What we are also doing is we are empowering our business section and providing resources so they could start developing biochemical fertilizers. Nature-based kind of solutions for what we would say weed controls. At present, if you go to any of our stations across Fiji, we have got this bacterial media, which you could pick it up in a bottle, take it to your farm, and you start making compost out there. So these are some of our efforts in trying to see how best we could reduce the load of chemical and pesticides. You must have seen people, a lot of people who are doing commercial farming, they're talking about paraquat. We have learned paraquat in Fiji. And every time we go to the carbon farmers, they say, hey, we should talk about the around. And I was happy that Honorable Prime Minister has also made a start that paraquat is not coming back to the system. The reason being, guys, there is a strong correlation between reduction and cancer. People having a lot of health problems. Also, in the essence, there are a lot of tests done. Sugar, processed sugar, you know how much of heat it is applied to get the crystallization. It has traces of reduction, paraquat, after it has been processed. So imagine how detrimental that paraquat is. We look at glyphosate. Glyphosate is a systemic weedicide. Now, you must have seen paraquat when people drink it, they know. Having said when people have suicide, you see people say when they open it, they have got blisters or anything. The same thing happens to the plants. When you spray, it comes in contact, you see the plant dies. But if you look at glyphosate, it's systemic. You put it on the, you spray it on the plant. It depends it from where the plant sucks it in, like it takes it inside. Then you see the plant fresh for a while. And then suddenly it starts disintegrating the tissues inside, the cells inside. It kills from inside. Paraquat was contact. You put it, it's kind of aggressive in terms of the thing. It's more burn kind of thing, just like SEEP something. But if you look at glyphosate, it's systemic. It's more, you see, it goes into and starts killing the cells. So the plant dies in it. And that's why there's a complete collapse of the plant, and then it dies and decays. So it attacks the system. So guys, where possible, let's start avoiding using. We have seen people also have got lots of these buckets. And we ask people, why not got buckets? So you just see what they do is they'll cover the plant, the tomato plant, cover it with the bucket, spray around, take the buckets away. He was happy that the plant is sprayed and everything. It hasn't taken the spray on the leaves, because they won't die. But again, the spray is in the ground. It takes time for it to disperse. And you know. So ladies and gentlemen, we might solutions, I'm not making you panic, but I'm making you to think. So these are some of the challenges and future generations will face when we not continuing after these pesticides and weedicides. Well, we have seen in a number of cases people are saying that this antibiotic is not effective. We have seen in a number of cases people saying, hey, so I went to your livestock section, I brought a chemical or antibiotic. This is the drenches, the one to kill the worms. I took it. No, it still has a diarrhea. Worms are still there. Again, what we have done is we have used the drug. Either we have given too much or too little. Now, what has happened is that monomer is down. Plus, the worm inside is resistant to that chemical drug. So we have got a chemical drug. A lot of times we will change the drug. Or again, we have to have a higher dose. You see microbial residues in our vegetables, in our food system. Like you have an animal, it is sick, you inject it with antibiotic, and then suddenly, I mean, it was put in that period, Before 14 days, you kill that animal and eat it. So you got the antibiotics inside you. Okay? That's why when you go to a doctor, at times you say that you do not have, you say that you have a challenge in terms of antibiotics. No, no. At times the doctor tells you, have a 7-day course for antibiotic. You say 2 days, I'm good, happy. You don't take that course. How it was 7 days. So we human beings should, people who are using chemicals, they should be using responsibly with instructions that are there. And they should be aware of the consequences that any chemical, any scientist sitting here, any science person sitting here knows that any chemical, anything that you take it, creates some kind of a negative effect. It would have some kind of an imbalance, or maybe you can say imbalance in the system. So again, we should be mindful. Some of this, some people say that, okay, I've got a gastritis issue, I take a gastritis tablet, and I might have a headache. So it's a contradiction, you might have headache, nausea, diarrhea. So those are the side effects of it. So, going back to story, I'm taking it of that. What actually happens is, we would say in agriculture, we always say sustainability. We always say organics. But again, the drive is just to come from here. Agriculture is not about the fact that you wake up one morning and you say agriculture. Agriculture comes with passion. You talk about the investor running a lorry. Investors are far. Lorry, you have some problem parking in the garage 5 days or 1 month later, you come, check the oil, everything start, put up a battery, repair, you close. Agriculture does that. A cow is about to give birth. 12 o'clock in the night, you go, you have to be there. You are sick, you can't walk, anything, but the cow has to be fed, the goat has to be fed. Your tomatoes are right there. You got an important meeting, still you have to postpone it, you have to look after it. And you can only do it if it comes from here. We always tell our people in agriculture, if you want to come to agriculture, those are some of the fundamental things that should be inculcated in you. You also have to look at our extension officers. We are not trying to force anything. Every time we are on our toes in terms of this one, and that is the attributes we are looking for our staffs. If anyone is sitting at night, you are about to go for a wedding at 7 o'clock in the evening, and then you got a car that can't keep well, but there's an injury, you actually have to. So, going back to this project itself, we believe that there is an active collaboration already there. These are some of our impending things that we want to sort of partake in terms of community engagements, the knowledge sets that we have got. We have got some wonderful projects running with it. We could partner with it, like the bacterial culture. Land use section has got certain practices. At present, we are developing Fiji. What we say is, we must have heard about this good agricultural practices. It's kind of a sexy word, good agricultural practice, sustainability, and okay, people say, if you say, hey, what's happening? Oh, it's about climate change. But again, if you feel good about it, but you have to see the logic and what it really means. So again, we have got a number of good agricultural practices, feature standard good agricultural practices that we are working on, like sustainable land use in terms of if you are planting or steeples and things, you have to incorporate the certain practices, include cultivar grasses, contour plantings, all these things. As we said earlier on, it's more of living within. We understand that in the villages, in the indigenous, there is still there is an ecosystem, there is native forest. How we can embed not only fruit trees, other things, put them together, sustainably harvest them. So these are some of the things. And then again, this project with the directions, government and Ministry of Agriculture have got a number of initiatives which we could use it in those forums to make people aware of some of the programs government is running, Ministry of Agriculture is running, especially small mechanization, our SEEP program, development programs in areas like human, in agriculture, vanilla programs, beekeeping, all those could be very sustainability embedded within this SEEP program, as well as creating awareness in terms of the stewardship for the environment. So once again, thank you executive for giving me a chance to talk. Sorry, I need to take a little bit more of the time, but once again, I'm very happy to be here, and very happy to assure that our boys here and our Ministry of Agriculture staff again provide that assistance. And in the something Ministry of Agriculture has a very open door policy. We receive call from farmers, drivers, and anywhere we don't ask you why you rank PS or why you rank Minister. We were always on the go. We were at 6:30, we were already on the ground. Farmer in Nabu had issues with his drainage. So for us, one of the ways where we have directed, you come to our office anytime you're around. If we are around, you can always come and discuss with us. We always provide that flexibility in terms of an issue. We accommodate issues. It's not about complaints. It's not about the essence of the fact that we want to have that hierarchical thing where you don't know the part knowledge. So guys, once again, thank you so much. My language has been okay. My background, I'm a farmer. My background, I have been an operations guy for all of my life. I have been a livestock officer, farmer, and also a head of operations. So I interact with people. So some of my slides. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.